Hey, you there? I just had the most amazing experience, like, traveling I've ever had. I'm Jeb Brooks with greenergrass.com. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm headed from here in Tokyo down to Bali with Garuda Indonesia. I'll be on their A330-200 airplane in business class. Hey, sorry to interrupt. Spoiler alert, I've made it to Bali and it's pretty spectacular. Look, when I was making this video I was a little down because I'd booked a first class ticket, but then when I checked the flight it had been downgraded to an A330 without a first class cabin. So I just lowered my expectations and figured you know, it'd be a great flight and I'd try Garuda's business class. Well, let's just say that's not how it turned out. Now back to Tokyo. I hope you'll join me for the trip report where we're going to check everything out. Stay tuned. Today's trip doesn't start on an airplane, but instead a train. The Narita Express, which is an hour-long trip from Tokyo Station right to the Narita Airport. Before I knew it, the ride was over, I was checked in, and I'd gotten a surprise. So earlier I said it was an A330 business class. Turns out I was wrong. I'm going to be in first class on a 777 with Garuda. This will be my first time with Garuda, my first time in first class with Garuda. And also I'm apparently the only person in the cabin. So this is going to be an epic trip. I can't believe how lucky I am. Let's get started and see how this thing goes. As I watched airplanes from the lounge, it occurred to me there's nothing quite like losing out on an expectation and then getting the expectation met again to make a person grateful. Now, of course, I was given access to the lounge, in this case because Garuda's Sky Team member was the Delta Lounge, which I could have accessed as a diamond medallion with them anyway. But this was special. I had a reserved section all to myself. Now, no visit to a Japanese airport lounge is complete without getting a robotic beer. But the highlight was when I first caught a glimpse of the 777-300ER that would take me to Bali. Just in case I struggled to carry my 2 bags to the plane or perhaps got lost on the way, Garuda organized an escort to take me there. Ride of the day, a 3-year-old 777-300ER. I tried repeatedly to carry my own bags, but she'd have none of it. And I don't know about you, but I always get excited walking down a jet bridge. The anticipation of a new destination, or in this case, a new airline, a new class of service. Leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking as you're walking into an airplane.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, I felt so welcomed here. The cabin was tremendous. It's arranged in a 1-2-1 format. The suites are very comfortable and quite spacious. There's plenty in the way of amenities and access to everything that you could need. We'll explore that a little later. Interestingly, there are no overheads on the sides, only in the middle of the cabin. Fortunately, storage was not a problem given that I was the only one in it, but it was interesting that that was the choice. Now, I loved seeing that 5-star rating from Skytrax, very well deserved. The cabin was spectacular, of course, but this was the moment when I realized this is first class. I was given macadamia nuts, a warm towel, and champagne in a champagne flute. This was going to be a different kind of flight.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Cheers. I realized we were about to get started when my jet bridge was pulled away from the plane. Think about it. I was the only passenger to walk down that jet bridge. How indulgent. It's so nice to be in Japan and look out the window and see the ground crew waving goodbye. This is my 108th flight of the year. Now, I always get excited about what's beneath us on a particular flight path, and this one would take us over places like Brunei and Malaysia and the Philippines, or at least near them. Now, when the pilots announced that our flight time would be about 7 hours, I happened to be speaking with one of the flight attendants. I asked her if she could respectfully request the pilots to just slow down a little bit so we could indulge in the experience a little bit more. She didn't think they'd go for it. Now make sure your seatbelt's fastened, because here we go. There was another service on the ground I chose not to record, and that was the slipper service, wherein a flight attendant quite literally took my shoes off and replaced them with slippers. After takeoff, it was time to start thinking about food. Now, this was a daytime flight, so this would be lunch. It was one of the biggest lunches I ever had. Now, if I go too quickly through the menu, please feel free to pause, or if you'd like to skip it, just go ahead in the video to 9:55. First things first, how about some caviar? And why not wash it down with a glass of white wine? And then the in-flight chef came by to walk me through the menu. Now, this took a long time, so I just am going to go ahead and fast forward through it for you. Unbelievable. This is out of this world. So I flew La Première with Air France, but it was a relatively short flight from Washington, D.C. to Paris. That was maybe 5 or 6 hours, something like that. They really didn't go all out. This is unbelievable. As the only person in the cabin, I'm getting incredible service. I think there are about 4 or 5 flight attendants, plus personal chef I just met, taking care of me. This is an incredible experience. Thank you, Garuda Indonesia. Time to set the table. I started off with the chicken spring roll. I'd forgotten the lesson my mom gave me when I was a kid, not to eat with your fingers when being filmed, so I pulled out the fork and knife. Next up, soto padang, or beef soup. Then it was time for the main course, the grilled chicken with paniki sauce. Chef just came out to ask me how I like my chicken, and it was spectacular. It was really good. It was an Indonesian preparation. And then he said, would you like to continue with the beef? So I'm now having a second main course for lunch. And here it is. It's beef with a balsamic sauce, and it was a little dry, but the flavors were quite rich. Then, of course, it was time for the cheese course. And let's not forget dessert. And why not have some coffee for good measure? This is a cappuccino. A cappuccino on an airplane. Unbelievable! I like to eat, but I'd reached the point of no return, so I thought this would be a good time to step away from the menu and focus on the Amenity Kit. Here's everything laid out. At the end of the flight, I was given a bag to put everything in. It made it very convenient. At this point, I was ready to kind of walk around the plane, explore it a little bit. Now, a couple of things to highlight. First of all, Garuda are happy to convert this seat into a bed. I didn't take advantage of this because it was a daytime flight. Second of all, pajamas are provided. I didn't wear those again for the same reason. Speaking of those pajamas, if you choose to wear them, you don't have to worry about wrinkling your clothes. You can just hang them up in this little closet. It's small, but plenty of space for those clothes. I'm 5 feet 11 inches tall, and I couldn't reach the ottoman. Now, don't get me wrong, the seat was very comfortable when it was reclined, and as a bed, I'm sure it would be fine. I'm just pointing out there's so much space in here. Now, you'll notice there are only 4 seats across. This is an incredible space. Now, this particular screen right to my left allows me to control the seating, the lighting, and my favorite, the massaging feature. Now, this was very nice and stronger than other seats I've sat in with massaging features. I could really feel it. It was very comfortable. I still can't get over having a cappuccino on a plane. Now, this is what the suite is like with the doors closed. For me, it felt a little confined, I'll be quite honest with you, but also very private. Time to get a little critical. The in-flight entertainment was, well, weak. There wasn't a lot in the way of choice. The maps also were pretty bad. I chose instead to take advantage of the very strong in-flight internet to watch my flight on Flight Radar 24, one of my favorite apps. When I sat down, the lead member of the cabin crew came over and brought me a card, and the card had a code on it for internet access. Now, ordinarily it's about 21, 22 US dollars maybe, but in first class it's free, I guess included in the price, and it's been very good. In fact, so good I was streaming YouTube videos for about an hour. I was really enjoying Dennis Bunnick's latest video about his experience in Etihad's first class apartment, which if you haven't checked out, you definitely should. He's really done a nice job of highlighting that product. I'll certainly include a link in the description. But for now, I'm going to get back to enjoying this flight. Thank you for watching, and there's more to come. Let's look at this seat a little bit more carefully. I'm in 1A as a reminder, and in this compartment just to my left, there's a water bottle, noise-canceling headset, and the remote control, along with a USB, actually 2 USB ports. Now up front there in that particular compartment is a universal plug. Plenty of room for my MacBook plug. Didn't have to worry about power on this flight. Conveniently, the tray table slid forwards and backwards, which meant it was really easy to get in and out whether I was eating or working. Inside this leather pouch were the customs form, which I'd already filled out, as well as an envelope to put it into, and some writing paper in case, I don't know, I needed to make a note about something. I didn't. Very nice noise-canceling headphones from Garuda. But frankly, I didn't use them that much. I preferred my own because the entertainment was so bad. I just listened to my iPhone. The remote control, though, was nice in that it showed our distance to destination right there. You can't see it here, but it was a nice feature. Toward the end of the flight, I noticed this little, I don't know, dot. I thought it might be a camera, although I'm still not sure. I do know there is a camera in the cabin somewhere because the crew can keep an eye on us, and I think that's why I never went more than really a few seconds without having a flight attendant available if I needed something. I decided to stretch my legs, and I did it the only way you can on an airplane, by taking a walk down the aisle. Now, I was escorted this time by one of the flight attendants from the first class cabin because just in case I needed something, she wanted to be there. I can't say that was a bad thing. Now, here we are in the economy cabin. It's arranged in a 3-3-3 format, meaning 3 seats by 3 seats by 3 seats. Once we step into the business class cabin, you'll notice it's arranged in a 1-2-1 format, meaning a single seat on the right, 2 seats in the middle, and then a single seat on the left side. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you opening that curtain for me. Now, I would prefer sitting in this business class cabin. It's a little bit more private. And then we're back in the first class cabin. So we're on final approach. It's all about to be done, and I am really sad about it. I mean, this has been incredible. The lead flight attendant just came around and said how grateful she was to have me on the plane, and if there was any mistake, she apologized and said there hasn't been one. This has been flawless. As I said, the service is it's beyond match. There's a reason Garuda is a 5-star airline, and I experienced it today.
ファーストクラス、ビジネスクラス、海底メリットクラスのお客様は到着ロビーのプレミアム到着サービスにてお預けの手荷物を受け。
So that experience wasn't quite over yet. I just got off the plane. I did not touch my bags. They were taken directly, I only had 2 carry-on bags. They were taken directly to some folks who helped me out of the airport. I had 6 people escort me through Customs and Immigration. It was crazy. I went through the diplomatic line. Garuda Indonesia, incredible. If you like what you saw, please like the video. I'd love for you to comment and let me know what you think. Please subscribe as well. And you know what, if you didn't like it, just go ahead and click that dislike button twice. I'm only kidding. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. See you in the sky.